Should you summon the Global Original Vision Card Step Up Summon? The short answer is, well, it honestly depends. With 3,000, 4,000, and 5,000 Lapis 3 times over, the banner comes to a total cost of 22,000 Lapis. A fairly steep price, considering you have to go the full way in order to get one of these 6 vision cards. Originally, each vision card was tied to a new unit. Some of them and some of them but this time around you don't get that luxury. Now, it's not all bad, as going the full way also nets you 2 half a Super Trust Mugo, a Master Crown, 2 Mystery Crystals, 5 guaranteed Neo Vision units, and 50 other summons that may or may not be good. This is a lot, and a great deal for beginners, but it's a much more difficult decision for veterans, who likely have a lot of this stuff and only see the vision card. And then they complain it's such a bad banner because it's not catered to them. But let's look at the vision cards. Leave things to me. This card has 360 attack and defense, a quarter of the full boost to the chain layer cap. Remake Cloud's Master of Fate, though only for units from Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, and automatically cast Leave Things to Me at the start of the battle, inflicting a 25% Greatsword Imperil, and a 120% Fire and Earth Imperil. In all honesty, this card's parameters are relatively low, as we'll see later, but the effects it offers can make it stand out. The small boost to the chain layer cap isn't great with the presence of alternative equipment, but the fact that it's not limited in any way helps. Cloud Super Trustmaster reward is great, and even though it's only for units from Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, no other card offers that bonus. The automatic debuffs are useful if you're aiming for quick clears or just lack the debuffs, but as time passes, we'll get units who can more than cover that aspect. Look, let's be honest, the only thing that's carrying that part is the fact that it's automatic. Warrior of the Azure Crystal. This card has 410 attack and magic, and boosts light resistance by 50%. It also boasts Demon and Human Killer Plus, and enables dual wielding, boosts your unit's equipment attack and magic by 100% while doing so, and grants the full boost to the chain layer cap as well. Dual wielding is heavily inferior to single wielding, what with single wielding weapons better variants, better equipment caps, and most units preferring it to the extent that they'll carry 2 weapons in one hand. But apparently the Japanese version of the game is introducing buffs to strengthen that playstyle. At the moment, it looks like it'll just elevate its strength so it'll be even with double hand, meaning units who are meant to dual wield won't have to be forced into double hand. This is even better for units who had equipment that can further boost their own stats. Think of units like Dark Rain, who wanted to dual wield while clearly holding a single weapon, or Roberta, who wanted to dual wield her clearly 2-handed weapon. This also kind of means we better hope for retroactive buffs to fill that new gap, because most dual wielding units only have the equipment stats to meet the current cap, because, duh. On the other hand, this also means there's really not much point in forcing a double hand unit to go dual wielding. But, well, aside from that, there's stats, killers, and light resistance, though half of this stuff is beaten by a later card. Bond with the Crimson Dragon. This card also has 410 attack and magic, and a 25% boost of fire, ice, and lightning resistance. It then boosts those offensive stats by 50%, and when equipped onto a unit from Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, it will boost their jump damage by 100%. It's a strong card with good passives, but unfortunately for 22,000 Lapis, it just doesn't stand out, especially since the second passive is really mediocre. Sure, the stats plus resistances lets it exceed most other cards, but when it comes to jump damage, Ricard's vision card with its damage modifier boost is just so significant that its lower stats are an easy trade-off. If you just want the attack buff, then I'd advise getting Warrior of the Azure Crystal, or even consider Leave Things to Me. As for magic, well, the next cards are better. Weaver of Wishes. This card has a total of 410 magic and spirit, a 75% boost to light and dark resistance, and when equipped onto a unit from Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, gives them boost to chaining, and Pelx's Super Trustmaster reward. It's essentially the magic opposite of Leave Things to Me, but, well, better, though it doesn't have any debuffs. What it's good at is very clear, but with Fina being Fina, means she's once again compared to Dark Fina. Speaking of Mont, Proof of Resolution and Resolve. This collaboration card has 2000 HP and 610 defense. It then further boosts those stats with standard buffs, equipment buffs, and also boosts land burst damage by 50%. When equipped onto a physical tank, it will give them chaining boosts, including indestructible light. Now, clearly, this is meant for physical tanks, seeking to improve their bulk and their damage. Now, the best physical tank in the game doesn't do enough damage to care, but the stats are definitely nice. If you actually look at the tanks that do good damage, well then this can certainly make them stronger, or at the very least free up equipment slots for stuff like resistance or evasion, depending on the fight. Ultimately though, while this card is a significant boon for physical tanks, its presence was never so critical that its absence cost someone a fight. And if it did, then they probably did something wrong. Lastly, Dazzling Demoness. This card has 1000 MP and 620 magic. It also boasts an incredible double killer against aquatics and insects, 2 rare species, but also 2 species we have few killers for. Furthermore, it reduces your unit's MP cost by half, and when equipped onto a unit from Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, it will give them indestructible light and Pause's Super Trustmaster reward. It's a stronger offensive card than Weaver of Wishes, due to having better stats, possessing killers, and trading in the chaining boost for indestructible light, which usually goes farther for most magic setups. The stats are pretty strong too. And those were all 6 cards offered. Ultimately, the banner is pretty well designed, with each of the cards showcasing individual facets that make them stand out from each other, and the best choice for each player largely depends on what they've currently got. Some cards are so significant that it wouldn't hurt to get a second copy of, but even with that being said, 22,000 lapis might be a steep cost if you don't care about all the other stuff you're getting. Still, even though this banner might not feature a specific unit, it does include every non-limited Neovision unit up to the new Final Fantasy IV banner. One thing to note though, while most seasonal units are from Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, Nier Automata and collaborations aren't. Regardless, this type of banner bodes well for the future, as that means other cool vision cards have another chance of appearing. Of course, you could just wait until then, but then you have to wait for the next cool vision card to come out, and when will that cycle end? I just hope there's a cool Riser Robot vision card one day.